feels like home. Only blue above, no clouds in the sky. Green fields below bring tears to my eyes. At Camp Redfish, you already know you're comfortable and cozy in a rural bungalow. At the Cornerstone, we camp and lounge all day in the woods at old Camp Flounder, the open field, a camp trout, we say. Cornerstone, cornerstone. When we're here, we're finally home.
Hello everybody, welcome back to One Perspective. I'm Brett and welcome to the channel. Today we are doing a little bit of camping out here on a site that we've been to before. You might not recognize it, but this is Cornerstone Farm. Right now we're at Camp Redfish. This is actually a permanent building structure that they built on the property. Last time we were here, we were way over there at the other corner of the property, and we were in the woods. It was a very hot day. I believe it was like 93 degrees, and I was melting. I actually thought I was going to have a heat stroke that day, but I toughed it out. I hydrated, chilled out in the tent, and I made the most of it. Not the same case today. Today the weather is much colder. Obviously it's rainy. It was supposed to have some snow this morning, but I think it just all turned into liquid here. So let's take a little tour of the property and get started. All right, guys. Now, this is Camp Redfish with the signature redfish right there. We've got a little one-room shed out here. 3 windows with screens. This is it, guys. Got a nice picnic table on site. Always luxurious when you're camping. Looks like a little bird feeder. And we are out looking a farm field here. All right, everybody. So we are about to go inside this building. Hope you like it. All right, got a nice storm door here. That's even got a screen on it too. Looks like they got a little cot for us. A little side table. Pretty sweet. Got little hunting camouflage curtains here. Got a nice view out here. That's a little fire pit. Yeah. Pretty cool, huh? Everybody, I just want to thank you again for coming out today and checking out my video. Now, for those of you who haven't been here before, this channel right here, it's all about solitude. Once a month, I come out for a day. No one else, just me, just my thoughts. I relax and I reboot. Everyone needs some time to themselves sometimes. This world is stressful. Your personal problems are stressful. The only thing you can do is kind of just cut off all the noise once in a while. And that really does something for you mentally. If you like what you see, please subscribe to the channel and please give this video a like. I promise I'm going to give you guys something to remember. I want to confess to something though. I go out here every month, have fun, either do a tent or a little bit of glamping, and sometimes things go wrong on my trips. Now, usually I cut that footage because it's a little embarrassing, it's a little unexpected, and I don't want you to get the wrong idea about going out here on your own. So, I've done a lot of trips so far, and every time I go, something crazy happens. I always preach about safety in my videos because you're out here by yourself, anything could happen. If you get hurt, help might be far away. But I try my best and things happen. On my first trip that I ever did, I titled the video Solitude, the joy of solo camping. And it was a nice hot day, which I enjoy. But I started to put up my tent and then this happened. Y'all have no idea how hard it was to retrieve that tent. I had to climb a tree to get it. And then the very next time I tried to go camping, unfortunately, Hurricane Helene happened. But I wanted to put out a video about what happened. I was going to go to the Virginia Creeper Trail, which is a bike trail in the mountains. And I was talking about the destruction that the hurricane caused, and out of nowhere, this happened. After that incident, I had actually missed out on being able to go camping during the warmer weather. So I didn't have a lot of time. It was a kind of a last minute idea. I thought, I'm gonna go camping in my backyard. So I'm chilling around the campfire, just ate some chili, and then this happened. As you can see, I made it out alive, and I did learn one thing. My wrestling skills are on point. After the backyard camp out, I didn't do any other camping trips until the following year in April. And I decided to go back to where it all started. And I checked out the same campsite as my first video. That video though, I did not go and check out the trains. Now there is a lookout point on the property. So I walked down there to try to get a shot of the train, and I can't believe this happened. After that trip, I decided to go down to a spot on the James River. Now, this is one of my most beautiful campsites I swear I've been to. It was lush and green at the time. It was a hot day, and it rained, and when it stopped raining, I decided I'm gonna go fishing on the shore. You know, that was a crazy trip, but I decided I want to broaden my horizons. I want to do a saltwater fishing trip. So the next site I went to was very close to the Chesapeake Bay, only a mile away. So I set up some camp, and then I went to go saltwater fishing. But nothing could prepare me for what happened next. Guys, all I wanted to do was catch a striped bass, but instead I summoned Cthulhu. So after that trip, I thought, enough with the water, I need to just chill out in the woods. So I actually came to this property, but all the way down there at Camp Flounder. But before I could even get started barely, this happened. Okay, so the weather is starting to cool down a little bit on my next trip. That's when I headed to the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains. I had a nice little spot on a pond. So I went out there, I did some fishing, and I caught one. I caught a nice little bluegill, and as I was trying to show it off to the camera, the unthinkable happened. All right, so before the weather got too cold, I thought I needed to do just one more fishing trip. I mean, how many times in a row can something happen? So I went to this creek reservoir, and what happened next? Let me just say, I didn't see it coming. After that, I did a very special trip. I ventured out to the county where my whole family originated from in Virginia. Visited the grave of my 4th great grandfather and 4th great grandmother. And then I went out to a campsite. Had a good evening. I was hanging out around the campfire, talking about family, eating food, and then something out of this world happened. All right, guys, that was a little weird. Really nice folks I met, and they dropped me off back at the campsite, but I was walking a little funny after that one. So I decided I really need to go back into the mountains. So I went to the Shenandoah Valley, and I was walking around, enjoying the mountains in the background, and then the sum of all fears happened. All right, guys, so now that brings us up to the very last trip before this one. That was where I went out to that tree house and played Nintendo 64 games and hung out for the night. But something happened there too, and I'm not very proud of it. So I know I talk about safety a lot, guys, and I'm going to take accountability. I'm holding myself accountable here. I'm going to show you what happened. Never leave the propane on. All right, everybody. I don't know who needs to hear this, but I'm going to say it anyways. Obviously, all that stuff was fake. It was done with AI. You know, I took screenshots and I took pictures that I took on the camping trips that I went on, and I made all this with Grok AI. Now, Grok AI is the AI generator for X. Now, I know AI can be a controversial subject these days. Of course, people's jobs could possibly be taken away by the new technology. Of course, there's a lot of industries buying up the inventory of this stuff, and the price is going through the roof. And possibly one day, if they already haven't, they're making AI videos for some nefarious reason, to kind of blame somebody for something that they didn't even do. But I'm just having fun with it. It's just to poke fun with AI. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I really did. I like all that funny, goofy stuff. And I feel like going forward, any little picture that we do at a family trip or a friend's outing, every once in a while, you could make something with that AI generator and send them this picture and say, hey, y'all remember when this happened? And it'd just be a complete farce, something insane happening, and everybody will get a good laugh out of it. All right, everyone, real quick there. I also have a One Perspective X channel if you'd like to check it out. I'll put it on the screen and put it in the description. Now let's explore this property while we still have some daylight and make a good time out of it. Hopefully we can make it around the whole field and it's not too muddy. Let's go. This is Camp Trout. It has a perfect centric view of the whole field. Last time we were here, I made a little inside joke. I came over here and I told you, I think I've got deja vu. And then I looked out at the field and I said, that's a 100K view. Now, that was a little bit of YouTube lore. Now, what I wanted to say about that was, there is a lot of Easter eggs, lore in books, movies, games, and I thought to myself, why can't there be YouTube lore? What I'm referring to is actually another YouTuber. He's my nephew. He has a channel called Outdoors with V. His name is Vasette. and he's my closest family friend. And he actually stayed out where I was on Camp Redfish, and last night he actually stayed here, believe it or not. But early in his channel, he came out here and did a video right where Camp Redfish sits now, before they put that structure out there. He did a video where it started raining. He had a whole setup. It was awesome. He loved it. It was hot. It was hot. It wasn't cold like it is raining now. He got out there. He just loved it. He had a great thumbnail for it. And for some reason, this particular video blew up to 116,000 views. And I'm very proud of him. It's his most popular video ever right here on this site. Well, back up there, but on this property. And when I looked out at that field and I said, that's a 100K view, that's what I was referring to. All right, guys, back to our old stomping grounds from the last trip I came here. Yeah, Camp Flounder. It was so hot when I came here before. All right, I made it back. My hands are starting to become really red. The blood is flowing to them, trying to keep them warm, but they're turning into ice blocks here. Let's get a down jacket on, let's get some gloves on, and warm up. All right, guys, this is the Wolfhound jacket by Helicon Tex. And I ordered this a little bit late, but it was supposed to come before this trip. I get this message from Amazon saying, it ain't coming until you get back from your trip. But you know what? It showed up on time. And I couldn't be happier. I tried it out yesterday, and it is a great jacket. It's like you almost immediately feel warmer. I went on this trip with my nephew to this place called Spy Rock. Now, Spy Rock is this huge rock on a mountain off of the Appalachian Trail. And we hiked out there. It's my first time really doing a long hike. And I had a 30-pound backpack on. You know, it's putting me to the test. Now, for those of you who hike, it's probably nothing for you. But for me, I'm not used to hiking like that, you know? Anyways, went all the way there, got on Spy Rock, came back down, looked for a place to camp. The best spot was not too far from the site. So we're out there, and the wind is just going crazy that day. It was very much unexpected. And although it was like in the mid-50s, as far as the temperature goes, because of the wind at night, it says it felt like 30 degrees. So I wasn't really prepared for that. But luckily my nephew had a down jacket, and he gave it to me to wear temporarily until I could, you know, get my core temperature back up. But I was shivering, it was uncomfortable, and it was a little scary until I got that on. So thank you, V. Saved my life a little bit there. You know, it doesn't take much to get hypothermia. And, you know, your body just doesn't do a very good job of regulating its own temperature. So always come prepared. Bring more than you need. Bring extra clothes if they get wet, you know, because you could be in a situation where you're miles into a trail in the mountains, and if you can't get your temperature up, well, you might be biting the bullet that night. All right, friends, we're doing a little operation here. We're gonna run a little Mr. Heater inside our little shed tonight. I got a brand new 20-pound tank. I got a brand new cord, and we're gonna run it through the window, and hopefully everything's gonna work out. Okay, everyone, what we have here is the Mr. Heater portable buddy heater. Now, I brought it on my trip to the Shenandoah Valley once before. I had a lot of issues with it. Not really sure what happened, so I'm just covering all my bases. I got a brand new cord because I thought maybe the 12-foot cord had some issues. I got a brand new tank, so I don't have an old tank anymore. To be extra safe, we're getting a little One Tigris flame retardant mat right here. Now this will keep it from burning through anything. If you had a tent, it would keep it from melting the tent. And that's what I used in my previous video where we were in the Shenandoah Valley and I was super cold. This thing kept cutting off once an hour. So hopefully tonight there's not going to be any issues. I've got a brand new tank. It should just run constantly, no stopping, nothing. I have a CO monitor, so shouldn't be any problems with that. I've got windows that have screens, so I can lift it up and we can get some ventilation in here. But one thing is certain, I am going to be warm tonight. I am not going to be cold. And we're going to have an enjoyable trip. Okay, we just set up our cot. This is the One Tigris Super Nubris. Now, if you remember on a previous episode, I talked about how it broke at the Shenandoah Valley trip. I am proud to report that after contacting One Tigris, they sent me a replacement leg bracket. We're back in business. The cot is up. It is functioning. And we're going to have a good night's sleep tonight on it. There's definitely some snow in that rain there. I'm starting to see little flakes come down with the drops of rain. Got my little dual fan blades going here, blowing some hot air in my direction. And I've got our sleep system up. Cot, mattress, sleeping bag, comforter, and that's the little CO monitor sitting there on the blanket. Now I have brought firewood, fire pit, all this stuff for tonight, but if this precipitation doesn't stop, we're just going to hunker down in here. Okay, everybody. I believe we have all of our items in the shed now. The heat is rolling. I got the little fans going. Feeling good in here. This down jacket underneath, it's doing its job. I just want to show you guys this new piece of gear I got. This is a One Tigris folding camp table. Now, if you haven't been able to tell, I'm kind of biased for One Tigris. Most of my new camping items are from that company. And all it takes is to buy one good product, and then you want to buy more of their stuff. Now, I needed this little side table for situations like this, and when I'm in a tent, because you need a little place to put your items, put your water bottle, what have you. Maybe even your little fan right here beside your table. And you want something that sets up high enough, but not too high and not too low. So this is the perfect little table for you. It actually has the little side pockets here on both sides. Throw your keys in, your wallet, whatever you're comfortable with putting in there. And I'm just glad to be in here, be warm, and I'm having a good time. I'm actually incredibly relaxed. Outside, the snow is coming down. It's mixing a little bit with the rain, so it's not sticking too much, but I can see some white out there in that field. So maybe when we get up in the morning, we'll have a nice view. Very soon, we're going to start making some dinner because I'm getting hangry. The night is upon us. We're about to get started with dinner here, guys. But I just wanted to take a moment to say that I came up with that saying kind of loosely based on just kind of like this memory in my head of Game of Thrones. There was a character also known as the Red Woman, Melisandre, who always used to say that. She didn't say that exactly. She would say, "The night is dark and full of terrors." Well, we are going to do something special tonight. Now, I have a great wife. She loves to cook when she gets a chance. She just goes to town and comes up with stuff on the fly, and it's like the best stuff ever. I was telling her I wanted to make something for the trip, and she gave me this idea. She said, "Why don't you make potato soup?" She said, "I will make you some of the ingredients. All you got to do is put them in, stir them in at the right times, and there you go." So thank you, baby. Hopefully, I do this soup some justice, but we're about to get started. I wanted to say one more thing. Before I figured out where I came up with that phrase, "the night is upon us," I typed it into Grok, because usually if you do that, you can figure out where it came from. And I just want to read you this passage that it came up with just me typing this in. "Ah, the veil of darkness descends, cloaking the world in mystery and quietude. What shadows shall we explore under its watchful eye? A tale of intrigue, a whisper of adventure, or perhaps just the simple thrill of stargazing? Tell me your fancy, wanderer of the twilight." Now, if you see here, we have my Wadeo stove. If you remember the other trip, it caught on fire and I put it to the side. But I have great news. I contacted them and they sent me a brand new one for free. But they told me that I kept putting my small cup directly on the burners. And that could have probably caused it to go poof every time I lit it. So going forward, I bought myself a brand new cup. You'll see that in the morning. But hopefully we're not going to have any more little accidents and everything's going to be safe going forward. First we got some olive oil. We got some vegetables. We're going to drain it real quick. Woo! What the hell? Okay, so that burned way too hot, too fast. It like almost burned like a triangle in here. Look at this. Crazy. So I'm going back to old reliable. I'm going to use this butane stove instead. I mean, that was incredibly hot, way too fast, splattering everywhere. Oh, that was a little bit scary for a second. Grease sprayed everywhere to try to wipe it off. I got grease all over my instructions here. Lame. All right. This one is not going to be too overly hot. Okay guys, we're going to add some garlic. All right, it's time for the potatoes. All right, we're adding the seasoning. All right, it's time for the chicken broth. All right, we're gonna put this lid on and it's gonna be covered for 20 minutes. Hey everybody, this is getting challenging because At first, I used the Wadeo stove. It was too hot. Then I used the butane stove, and I think it's too cold for it to run. So I'm not sure if it was cooking everything as hot as I needed to. So we've gone back to the Wadeo stove, and I just got to watch it to make sure it doesn't overheat it. Crazy night. Adding some salt now. All right, everybody, we're adding some milk. Starting to look good. Okay, guys, we're almost done here. We're gonna add some pepper. All right. We're at the final step. That is the bacon. All right, everyone. That felt like it took a lot longer than it needed to be, but here is the moment of truth. Hopefully I don't spill nothing. And I'm looking forward to this potato soup. Oh yeah, I just thought of something. I got to get my crackers, but we're going to take a bite. Goodness, it's probably hot as hell. Ooh, that is good. Here's a little cayenne pepper in there. Thanks, baby. It turned out very well. I'm very happy with it, and I cannot wait to eat this dinner. It's been a long time coming. I've been very hungry. I tried not to eat too much today because I really wanted to save a spot for this soup tonight. So it was great as always. All I did was heat it up. You're the cook. Thanks, babe. All right. We've retreated to the shed. We are indoors, finally. And I am so full. I ate nearly that whole pot of soup. It was really, really good. So I'm not sure how much energy I'll have. Maybe I'll digest a little bit and stay up and do some more things. But right now, this heat feels good. Now, I can report this. No problems so far. Since late afternoon when I set this up, I turned it on and I wanted to test it out. I wanted to see if it really was going to run without shutting off. It has not shut off once. So I'm not sure exactly what the problem was the last time, but new cord, new propane tank, no problem. Now, the conditions are definitely better than when we went to the Shenandoah Valley, but still, no problems here. I'm going to run this all night. And hopefully I have set it up as safe as possible. I got these little fans blowing at me. I have this window cracked. I have that screen door cracked. I've got my CO monitor right here, and it says 0. So, as far as I know, I can safely breathe this air. Now, whether or not I can breathe the air is one thing, but can I stand it? When I first tried it out in that tent, it made me feel a little bit sick. I just don't do well with chemicals. I'm just not that type of person. I don't even like it if someone has like perfume or cologne on. I don't like those Glade plug-ins. I don't like air freshener that gets sprayed in the bathroom. That stuff is concentrated. It has, some noxious chemicals in it that doesn't agree with me. Before we go any further, I just want to show you guys my little setup here. Now right here, we got my sleep system. We got the cot up, mattress, sleeping bag. I got my comforter. We've got the portable Mr. Buddy heater. Over here, I've got all my supplies, the water, the bags that I took off of everything I got. I've got a few of my organizational bags, my chair, and my little side table here. Hey everybody. I think I am done for the night. I've been sitting here, chilling out, watching some YouTube videos, and I'm at total peace right now. I actually have been stressed out about a lot of things lately, and I had written a lot of things that I wanted to say, but once I got here to this place, like everything just floated away from me. So I'll probably save that for another trip to talk about if I'm up for it, but I gotta be honest, guys. Camping equals reboot. It really does. I got this little heater beside me. It feels good. So on that note, guys, I promise I'll bring you back when the sun rises. Good morning, everyone. It's just past 7 a.m. Nice and cold out here. Frost on my car. A little bit of snow in the field here, but most of it melted with the rain. I don't usually get up this early when I'm camping, but I just wanted to show everybody the sunrise, and I'm gonna go back inside my warm little shed here and chill out a little bit more before I get things together. But I'll bring you back. All right. I chilled out for about 35 minutes. It's time to get up. It's time to get some coffee and some breakfast and start moving, get my blood flowing. I'm ready to go now. A new coffee cup. This stove that I got is a beast. It burns hot and fast. All right. Ow. That was even hot on those little handles. All right, next up, we got some apples and cinnamon oatmeal. All right, everybody. That sun is out right in my eyes. And the time is 8:26 and it is 28 degrees. Yes, indeed. My hands are feeling a little bit better though. We just made some oatmeal and I have a big cup of coffee. Cheers, guys. We made it through another cold night. I've really enjoyed my time here so far. You know, it's nice to just get away for even less than a day and just leave all your worries behind. That's exactly the way I felt once I got here. I'm very fortunate that no one else rented any other campsites. I was here just by myself. And now I get to enjoy a nice breakfast before I pack up and go. Before I got here, I mentioned this a little bit last night. I had kind of written out all these scenarios of things I wanted to say. A lot of things have been, on my mind lately, and a lot of personal stress has been on me too. But once I got out here, I realized there's no need to vent. There's no need to really say something really way too deep. Because I was at peace. I think a lot of times people can't be at peace because they can just never get away. They never have any solitude. And you wouldn't believe it. I mean, I just came out here, just had to take care of myself, didn't have to do much. I really didn't. I really took it easy. After I ate that big meal last night, I was knocked out. There was no more filming per se. I was just enjoying the moment. The only thing that I'll say maybe even bothered me in the slightest was that I had this really strange dream. I know I ruined your morning with that one. What I'll say before I go is this, be kind to people. Be generous, try to have an open mind and see things from other people's perspectives, but never go against your own beliefs and convictions. That is really important. That is really important. So this adventure and my previous adventure, they're kind of in the scope of glamping. And that was kind of the first time I really did that. All the other times I've been in a tent. I want to say I do plan to go back to tent camping probably the very next episode here. I'm just kind of in between whether I want to buy a new tent or not. I know I talked about the Gazelle T4 tent that I had previously. I actually returned it because I wanted to get one that was even warmer than what I had. Because me, I'm warm-natured, but I'm not that warm-natured. And I need something to keep me warm out here when it's so cold. Last night, I took off this rain jacket while I was in there, but I actually started shivering a little bit. I took off my hat because I wanted to enjoy that heater. It wasn't enough. I put the hat back on, I put the coat back on, and got under that sleeping bag. I was good to go. I actually got some sleep, At first, I had a little trouble going to sleep. I was actually falling to sleep, and then my dad called me and told me about a big football game that happened, so I talked to him for a few minutes. But ultimately, I went to bed. All right, everyone. You've made it to the end, so thank you very, very much for watching my entire video all the way to the end. If you like what you've seen, please subscribe to the channel, please give me a like, and don't forget to follow me over on X. I post things about camping on there as well. Till next time, keep an open mind and never be afraid to be a dissenter in a world full of opposition.